So yesterday was our first fiscal cutoff. That means bills that were in Ways and Means had to be out of Ways and Means if they were to pass on to the floor of the Senate. Over the next week, we'll be looking at not only bills that came out of Ways and Means, but bills that went directly from the committees to the Rules Room, and then we'll look at those bills on the floor. There's a lot of things going on here in Olympia as far as how do we prioritize our budgets. That's really what we tried to do yesterday in the Ways and Means. There was a lot of bills that were heard, but in the end, we're trying to fit it within the scope of a supplemental budget. A supplemental budget over the past years has been much bigger than a traditional budget because we've been dealing with deficits. But with the good work that we did last year, this is the first time in 5 years where we haven't had to deal with a deficit. So we're truly trying to keep it a supplemental budget. Sometimes the problem with a supplemental budget is what we call the bow wave effect, and that is you can have small changes in a supplemental year, especially if those programs aren't implemented till 2 or 3 months prior to the end of the supplemental, but then in the next biennium they tend to have a lot bigger effects. If you keep passing multiple bills out there that are a couple million here, a couple million there, but their bow wave effects might be, $5, $6, $10 million, then you really start to eat into the available funds that you have when it comes to what we're trying to do in prioritizing education. And not just K through 12 through the McCleary Supreme Court mandate, but really trying to move the entire education system forward, whether that's early ed, K through 12, or a higher education system. This past week I also did a telephone town hall, and I've kind of been reluctant to do these just because I think sometimes at the congressional level, one, they seem like more of an info commercial than a real town hall. And then two, I think sometimes they do them in lieu of a traditional town hall. I'd love for you to come out and join us on the 22nd of Saturday at Redmond Town Hall. That's going to be from 10 to 12. A more traditional town hall. But one thing I did really enjoy about the telephone town hall, one is the number of people we're able to reach. I think we had up to 1,600 people on the line, which is obviously a lot more than will traditionally attend a normal town hall. The other thing we were able to do, and it's not scientific, but we were able to ask some poll questions. And I think really what came out of that is kind of what I have experienced at people's doors, the 32,000 doors that I've knocked on throughout my years here in the legislature. And that is, people really want us to concentrate on the big issues, what I call the kitchen table issues, transportation, education, a sustainable budget. A lot of what we've been trying to concentrate here from the majority coalition. People want Washington State and the politicians of Washington State to focus on the jobs and the economy here so that not only they but their children can continue to work and live in this great state. We're going to continue to prioritize education because in the end, education is what allows our economy to grow in a 21st century high-tech economy. Again, I appreciate your interest, your involvement. Stay in touch, and please come out and see us on the 22nd.